Hi, this is Casper Van Dien, and you're watching John Ali TV.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to meet you like this. It's such an honor for me, Casper. Let me tell you, man, you are.
Where are you from?
I'm from France, man.
Bonjour, comment ça va? Comment allez-vous?
Très bien.
Très bien.
Should we have to wait for Shaun, I guess, right?
Whatever, Shaun. He's late. I'm telling him he's late already. Tell him we already had the whole conversation.
Yeah. So let's start without him, right? He would join us.
Yeah, you can join us. So, John, I was Johnny Rico in Starship Troopers, but you are Johnny. I get it. Right?
I'm not.
You're the real deal. You're the real deal.
Casper, the first time I saw you, because I'm 39, almost 40, and it was like maybe back early in the 90s. It was in James Dean. Yeah. And then
just
Starship. I love that movie, James Dean. Yeah, I love it. You nailed it, man. You nailed it.
Merci beaucoup.
And then Starship Troopers, of course, and then Tarzan, Sleepy Hollow, and many countless movies after. And a few years ago, we saw you in Alita: Battle Angels.
Yeah.
In the role of Amok. Badass. Yeah. Loved it. And so you keep filming, you're so active. How do you keep that same energy, that same passion through the years?
Well, I'm very fortunate. I think the people in our industry are definitely unique in all departments of it, because we have, we don't have a steady job. Even you, I mean, we all have these, we talk about movies, we shoot movies, we get on sets, we talk about it, we go and do interviews about it. We work with other people we like, creative people. But, you ask a lot of people to come on set and they get bored. At first they think it's amazing and there's this romance about it, and they think that this is going to be something positive, and they're excited about it. But all in all, people get bored because it's a hurry up and wait. And even with the interviews, it's hurry up and wait. Like right now we're waiting on Shaun Piccinino. So he's a minute late. We have to get on about that. And I'll text him right now. But I think that we're unique individuals. So how do I keep my energy up? I'm more alive when I'm working. I'm a better husband, a better father, a better human being if I'm working. And I'm fortunate enough to do what I love. I think we get in. Everybody has different things that are put in their brain or put into their psyche, and mine was definitely a strong work ethic. And in this industry, it can be hard because we can work 14-hour, 20-hour days and 6 days a week, and then come back and have to learn all the lines for the next 20 hours that you're going to be on. You only have 4 hours to sleep and get there and everything. So that's often the case in this. And then also there's times where you're working that you have to do interviews and you have to go on and be on. You've got to be on your game because you can't go and do the interview and have a bad attitude, a bad thing. You have to be present in all of it. And what I'm lucky is I love this. I love acting. I get to do what I love. I get to be around people that really love the same thing that I love. And so we all nerd out together and geek out.
We are, yeah, definitely.
That I already love talking about. So it's a gift. It's really a gift, and I appreciate it. I feel very honored and lucky to be able to do this for 35 years.
Yeah, 35. Yeah, oh, that's a long time, man. Time goes by too fast, man. And the guy we're waiting for is in the room right now. I can see him. So
let's bring on Shaun. Let's bring on the peach.
Yeah, Shaun is here with us. Hi, Shaun.
Hey guys, sorry it took me a little bit to figure out how to get onto this.
Yeah,
good.
It's hard, man.
Guys, let me tell you something. This is my first time doing this with a director and an actor both at the same time. So
the director, it's your first time, so you're breaking your virginity with us too.
Yeah, I guess so. So are you ready for the Salvage podcast, guys?
Yes, the Salvage podcast.
Come on, you app. You want to live forever?
We do.
Shaun, you're an amazing, talented, eclectic director, also actor and a stunt. And
yes,
a lot of things, action, romance, Christmas movies. Like you're always trading top movies on Netflix, number 2, number 3, number 1. So congratulations on this, man. This is amazing. Yeah.
And he's also a nude male model.
Yeah.
Only for you.
They all hang out.
Only for you. That was private information.
Actually, and he can dance. So this guy,
yeah, I saw that.
Martial artist.
A lot, yeah.
And there isn't anything he can't do. So we always thought, oh God, Shaun has the most energy, and my wife would say this too. We all said Shaun has the most energy until his wife came to our wedding, and she has the most energy. And I would imagine if a woman were going to be with Shaun, she would have to have a lot of energy. So that woman was dancing, and I remember he was dead. It was at our wedding. We're all dying, sweating. It was at my wedding. He's in there. He's in my wedding party, and we're all just dying. We've done this, all dancing, and all of a sudden you could see that he and I were spent. We're done, but we can't do it. But his wife goes like this and fishes him in, and he goes and goes out to her, does the whole act, and then dances with her. But she had him like he was done. But she was like, "No, you're not done." And he wasn't. So,
how did you guys meet each other? Because there's a story behind all of this. I want to know.
Oh, my wife introduced us. She said to me, my wife who plays Jada.
Yeah.
My wife who plays Jada. She said to me, she goes, "Oh my God, Casper." And we were just dating. She goes, "I have one of my guy friends," and I go, "Oh God, one of these comes. One of my guy friends, you guys would be best friends." And I'm like, "Oh, this guy likes you." She goes, No, he's married, his kids, I'm friends with him. And I go, yeah, bullshit. He loves you. He wants you. She goes, "No, I swear." I go, "Look, I have no interest." I go, "I love you." I go, I'm really into this relationship. I have no interest in meeting one of your guy friends." Cut to him and I meeting each other. We're inseparable. We like everything we do. We now have like we had this Casper shuffle, he calls it, all these weird things that we do. We do all these invitations together. We dance, sing together. We go, I've done so many things with this guy. I love him to death. He's a great guy. And my wife was, as per usual, correct. I at first I thought, oh, who is this guy? She's trying to set me up with his friends. I was like, I'm not going to buy it. But she was 100% right.
True story, right, Shaun?
It is. It actually is true. And the funny thing is, just again, based on Jenny's, kind words, Casper actually put me up for a job at the time. It was a stunt coordination gig, which I've also done. And Casper and I actually didn't even really know each other at all at that point, but he still vouched for me, which I always was so thankful for that. And then in turn, when I got this TV show, I put up and I really fought for Casper to get cast in that series. And so that's kind of how our friendship really started, was through this kind of mutual going to bat for each other, really because of Jenny, because of our friendship and obviously his romance with Jenny, and just us really believing her when she tells us how great the other is, So
yeah, it was really strange because it was I recommended him for a really good friend of mine who he got to hang out with at my wedding, but they couldn't end up doing it because he called me up because I love this guy. He's great. I'm going to use him on everything. And he goes, I can't use him. He's changed his schedule. And then he had this big movie. He's like, hey, Casper, would you come read for this part? And I go, oh, it's the Doolittle story. I go, I love Jimmy Doolittle. I'd love to have the opportunity to read for Doolittle. And they go, well, that's already out to somebody. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, you know what, Casper? I'm going to come over to your house and put you on tape. So here's some scenes. Go learn them. I had to learn a 3-page monologue and another 2-page scene. And I go, when are you going to be here? He goes, I'll be there in an hour. He was there. He was there in 45 minutes. And I'm like that 3-page monologue I had to learn. I'm like, Jenny, what do I do? She goes, just do it, Casper. I get it. And both her and him were crying at the end of it when I got it. They were both crying. But he's like, hey, I'm going to send this to them anyhow. But they already have an offer out to a bigger name, and they did. But when Shaun sent it to them, they pulled the name for the bigger. They pulled the offer for the bigger name, and they gave it to me because Shaun, to the producer, they said that, I think, am I doing it wrong? Am I saying this wrong, or is this just me?
No, yeah, that's it. Yeah, they even when I brought up Casper to play Doolittle, they go, we really like Casper, but we already have this offer out, and blah blah blah. That offer didn't go through for whatever reason, and they were gonna. I don't know if they did or they were about to pull it to somebody else, and I gave them that tape, and they went, "Oh, nope, Casper's the guy." And so
we got to do that, and then we got to do other things, and then when we got Salvage, I was when Salvage came along, I was trying to, there was going to be another producer who was going to direct it, and then he came to me and goes, hey, do you have any friends that can direct? And I go, well, I got this guy Shaun Piccinino, and I recommended some of my other friends too that did do parts of the series because I figured it was going to be, he couldn't do all of it, but it ended up Shaun could do all of it. And I was like,
yeah, that's perfect. You help each other out, with job, with the thing you love the most doing in life, movies, and that's great to hear that. This is not like how many say that? In France we don't have the same minds about the job. Because it's a smaller country. People love to get their job and not share it. But
you say France is a small country. I mean, it's a pretty big country. I've been to it. There's a lot of French people too. I think there's there's a lot of French.
Canada.
I went all over the world. I mean, you got French Guyana, you got French down in South America. You got French
you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
French in Vietnam. You guys are all over the place. I'm just going to say something. You're all over. The Arab countries. You're all over the Asian countries. You guys are all over the South America. I mean, I know the Spanish got South America, but there are still French there on there too. You guys are everywhere.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We're pretty everywhere.
You guys are. You're huge.
That's true. That's true. You got me. You got me on this one.
Small country.
Guys, so we're here to talk about, your last sci-fi show, Salvage Marines, available on Popcorn Flix, right? Because I had
and
to
Crackle.
And Crackle, because I had to put a VPN, to be able to watch it here in France, because it's not available here in France. But thank God we have VPN. And it's an adaptation. I'm sorry, Casper.
We're a small country. That's why it's not over there.
See? So it's an adaptation of the novel Necrospace Book 1. I guess it was pretty, a long process. And you were filming during COVID, or it was before COVID?
Before COVID.
Before COVID, yeah.
It should have been during COVID, though.
So Casper is not only the leading role about this show, you're also an executive producer, right, Casper?
Well, I was a co-executive producer on this, but that kind of got taken away basically from me, and I really just was an actor in it. I didn't have time to really do any producing. I mean, I tried to do everything I could to help everybody. Yeah. I did it whatever I could, but I wouldn't really call me a real producer on this one at all. If I had, it would have been, I think the end result would have been a little bit different. I think Shaun and I would have been a little bit more involved, but our process got kind of cut out a little bit. Producer's job is to save money and do whatever they can. And then also ours is to try to get them to spend as much as they can on the show, which weren't necessarily successful in. But I think with what we were able to do, we were able to put a lot of heart and soul into it. And that really comes out, and I think in the performances and the direction.
So Shaun, Casper is on set. The legendary Armand Asante is on set also. How it was for you, Shaun, to work with such talented, experimented actors?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, those talented guys. What was it like, Shaun?
Well, with Casper, it's always just such a joy because he's such positive energy and always looking to make the experience positive. Even when we're doing dramatic roles, Casper is definitely one of those actors that once we say action, he's in. But once we say cut, we can joke and we can laugh and we can have fun, and it's really a joyous thing. It makes it, there's not tension on set. He's not one of those actors where you can't look him in the eyes. You tell the crew, don't look him in the, he's not that. He's so warm and friendly with everybody. So it's just such a joy. And he and I have a rapport. So we talk about the character's backstory, we on our days off and stuff like that. And then Armand Asante was amazing. Had to pinch myself a couple times with discussing the character with him and how he wanted to approach it. And we did have plans to do a lot more with that character.
Yeah.
If we get the opportunity to do more episodes. What you see in these first couple episodes is really we're building up to what that character actually is. And it's really more interesting and than I think people realize. But yeah, that was really fun to kind of explore that stuff with him and just kind of see his process, like how he works, because I had never worked with him before. Yeah. And that always fascinates me, being kind of a student of film and this art form. I'm always learning. I always am thinking about and trying to absorb, new techniques and new information. So that was a really cool experience.
I bet it was. And Casper, in some aspect, the show reminds me Starship Troopers. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. And your character go through a lot emotions, Casper, and I was impressed, I must say. Casper, did you dig, into Johnny Rico's cave to portray Samuel Heist?
So, I think there's a lot of connections. A lot of people get excited when I do something sci-fi or that's in the veins of this. Since the closest I've done to something like Starship Troopers, like old man Rico. I think.
Oh yeah, right, old man Rico. I love that, Shaun. You have to do it.
Well, I'd love to do that with Shaun. I'd love to do old man Rico. I think it would be fun to come in. I think the difference between this character and Starship Troopers, in Starship Troopers, Johnny Rico was young, joined up for a girl, and was all about whatever he could do to serve. And that was his job, and that's what the mobile infantry was good for. He wasn't questioning authority. My character in this one doesn't join up right away because he's like, hell no, I don't want to go to war. And then he joins up because his wife and him get pregnant. And then he's like, I can't live this debt on to my family. So he joins up for a different reason, still for a girl in a way, but for a different reason, a more noble one, I think. Where they're both similar is they're all about the people that are with them and how much they care about them. So that was very similar. But reasons to join, and then also the question and authority. Johnny Rico was young. I think now he's old and he's more cynical. I think he would be in the future world. I think old man Rico would have a little bit more like Samuel Heist. In the books, Sam and Takeda are young, but in they made him old because of me. So
not that old, man.
No, but it's great. I like being this old. I actually like that I've lived this long. I mean, I'm going to be 54 this year, and I actually enjoy that. And I enjoyed the juxtaposition of being somebody that had to make that choice versus what Johnny Rico was, where he just wanted to join because of a girl. But then this guy makes it for a noble choice because he doesn't want to leave his family with the debt that every human is given. Everybody is born with debt, and the only way out is maybe you can do it to the Salvage Marines, but 80% of those people die. It's almost unsurmountable what you have to do. It's like you have to win the lottery to get out, and winning the lottery is actually working. What?
They're trapping you in the system.
Yeah, you're trapped once you're born, and I love that about that because it does kind of correlate to all of us in life, we're all struggling and trying to find our ways to pay the bills and to do this. And, you know, we have our freakouts and we know we're okay. And then we have our, you know, and us, the three of us, I'll just speak in this terms, we're men. So we always have that, at least in America, we're very much bred to make money and be providers. And I think that's a general more male dominated. I mean, there's a lot of women that are doing it. I'm not taking away from that, but we've been trained and conditioned to also believe that if we don't, we're a failure.
We survive. Yeah.
We want to survive.
We're responsible. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, like, let's say we can always say about equality, and I'm all for equality. I think women can do things much better than most of us in general. I just do think that, but we do have these old ways that we're set up where, like, if we're on the lifeboat, we're on the Titanic, it's women and children. Even if they had a better job than us, they're off, we're not. You know, even if we were, you know, they are, and they should be, because that's what we are, men. And I believe it 100%. But it is interesting, you know, because you want the equality for everybody, and they should, because women are they're, as far as acting goes, I think they're more in touch with their emotions than most men. They're much more passionate than most men, and so they can be much more believable. I mean, look at the quality of actors that we have that are actresses, and then ego. Sometimes with men, we don't want to show stuff because that shows weakness. So as actors, that's a thing we have to be able to willing to cry like you know, like a whatever, the worst emotions. We have to be able to show it because that rawness is what we want to see. And I think women are in general, not always, but in general, I think they're better than us at that.
There is that you know, that weird whatever pay disparagement, pay equality for women in Hollywood, which is, you know, doesn't make any sense, especially in that field, you know.
Yeah, it is the same here. You know, when you want a job for a woman and a man here in France, that's the same. You know, the woman is always, you know, pay less than a man. Yeah, that's well, you know, that's fucked up.
We had, you know, of course, we had that on our set too. I was probably the highest paid actor on that, and you know, and they were getting it because around me. But I mean, everybody there was, you know, so putting their talent and their heart into it and
dedicated. Yeah, 100%.
Everybody was. It was we were really lucky.
And but by the way, Shaun, and no, yeah, Casper, you told me you're going to turn 54, right?
December 18th.
Because you're in tremendous shape. In particular, in the show, man.
That's right. Don't you forget it, you youngins. I'm coming for you.
By the way, Shaun, thank you for the cameo, because I recognized you, you know, flying a spaceship, trying to land in something.
So good. So good. I knew that he did it. I remember him telling me he was going to play that, but I hadn't seen it until we saw the show. And I was like, oh my God, it's true.
I got the same reaction.
I always do some kind of cameo. This one was a little bit more than normal, but yeah, I usually it's my Hitchcock or you know, like that kind of Tarantino or something, you know.
An Easter egg, something, yeah.
Yes.
Because I liked it when we went over and we shot the parts in England, and you had a bigger part even, and you were bringing. Yeah. I liked all that. It was good. I liked all the tie-ins, and I think that, you know, it really is. I got to tell you, it's really, out of everybody that was in it, the people that I counted on the most there was a core group of people, but it would be Shaun that made the whole thing for me. So he's the whole one, because I could go to him every time, and I knew I had him and his script supervisor. She's amazing.
Can I hug you through the screen? I'm just gonna.
We wouldn't have been able to do it.
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. It's okay.
Hey, you're in on this already. All right, you're losing your virginity right now.
Now we're hugging you.
It's a 3-man hug.
What was the best moment filming, you know, a souvenir, an anecdote, or maybe the worst, you know, something, you know, it happens, you have a worst day, but you have to do it, whatever it is.
You want to take this, lead this one?
Oh no, I think you can handle this one, Shaun. Let's see where you.
Well, we had lots of great moments. You know, there was, in particular, there was really fun scenes like in the cantina, or not the cantina, the what would you call it, the mess hall. You know, where you're having
cantina or mess hall.
Yeah, and they're all kind of telling each other who they are, or they're reminiscing, telling stories. Like those were always such really fun, amazing moments to just see the camaraderie that was going on in real life. Like myself being behind the scenes, knowing the camaraderie that was actually happening, and then that's also happening on screen. So I love those kinds of moments. There was certainly big challenges, weather chief among them. We had lightning strikes. We had like lightning strikes happening like 10 feet from us on certain days, and we'd have to shut down production completely. Oh. And, so there was those kinds of things that are out of our control. And then it didn't, to the bottom line, the pocketbook for the budgets, it didn't matter that happened to us. They can't give us another day just because weather decided to, spoil our fun. But I think that was a challenge with filming in that. We filmed a lot of it in Louisiana, and it does. The lightning storms happen like almost every day there, for certain parts of the year. So, so there was some really cool locations. I know one of the really challenging days was when we were in these sand dunes. We found the only sand dunes in Louisiana, by the way. And it was actually put there by another movie production. I think a movie, there's a couple things that shot there. Jonah Hex and something else also used those sand dunes. But anyway, so we were able to get those, and the actors in all their gear happened to run and jump and leap. And, we're trying to take a very small...
for the last episode, right? The showdown on planet. Yeah. So
for that sequence, we really didn't have very many stunt people, and we didn't have a lot of extras. And so it was this dance of trying to make it feel much bigger than what we actually had. And that's part of the beauty of having, armor and helmets, so that we can recycle people and use them again in different positions. And so there was a lot of that kind of movie magic going on.
And we had one thing, those sand dunes where we had to do the running. None of us really particularly wanted to do this and everything because we didn't have the stunt doubles. But then Ashley Nunez, who plays... She was amazing on those sand dunes. She take off running, and everybody was like, "Oh God, we gotta go!" So she played Yvonne. Yvonne White. I remember Shane Graham, who's also an awesome actor on our cast. He was just like, thinking he was going to be competitive, and then the way she jumped that dune too, she did like the full-on long jump, like she jumped an entire ravine, and everybody was like, "Wait, what? Are we all supposed to do that?" And I didn't know she was going to do it. And I was down there by the camera with our awesome DP, Brad, rushing. And we're both sitting there. We're like on the ground. We're in the sand. And we've got the camera low looking up. And here comes this, we didn't know who it was, just this trooper flying through the air and like over our heads. And we're like, "What? Who was that?" I was like, "Who just did that?" I had no idea, and it was Ashley, and we were just blown away by her athleticism.
Yeah, guys, this is the job, right?
Yeah, this is the job. Yeah,
this is the job, right? It sounds like you had a lot of fun, a blast.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
We can feel it between the character, between the actors. We can feel it watching the show. I got to tell you,
we hired a lot of our friends. I mean. I remember one day I called up Shaun and I said, "Hey, Shaun, what do you think of Peter Shinkoda?" And he goes, "For Takeda?" He goes, "Nobu, that would be awesome." So I called him, told him the script. He read it, goes, "I'm in." And he goes, and I go, "Well, I'm going to have Shaun talk to you." So Shaun and him talked. He goes, "I love Shaun." I mean, right away, they just hit it off. But Peter,
was awesome. What a good actor. Wow.
What amazing. And I loved what he did with it. I loved every nuance he brought. He was so interesting and different. And it was so, not like, it just was and he and I are already friends. So, and the woman that played Lenata, who played my wife, is a good friends with my wife. She's the one that suggested her. And she's like, "Hey, you want to come make out my husband?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I got to answer to her husband and her doing this." I go, "This is so awkward." It's my wife that was recommending it. So,
so you got it covered by your wife.
Yeah, I had to kiss this beautiful black woman because my wife said so. So it's not my fault. I'm innocent. Do what my wife said.
You're lucky, man.
I'm a lucky man. I am. She's that sweet.
Guys, Starship Troopers, is a touchstone, of sci-fi movie, from the 90s, like, Paul Verhoeven, come on, guys, who did Robocop, Total Recall, and put his marks on the genre. Shaun, did Starship Troopers was an inspiration, for Salvage Marine, because of course, with low budget production, you have to come up with, just like you said, guys, new ideas in everything. You have to put everything in it, but maybe you keep in mind always something bigger that you want to reach the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, Starship Troopers is an influence. There's an inspiration. There's no kind of way around that. I think when you're doing, especially when we're talking about like military in space. I mean, of course, you're drawing inspiration from Starship Troopers, from of course Star Wars and Star Trek and all of that. Aliens. It's such a part of. If you saw some of those hallway scenes with the lights flickering and the stuff coming, that was all inspired by Aliens. So there's that stuff is such a part of culture and pop culture now that in some way, even if you're not thinking about it, it's going to inspire you when you're trying to do this stuff. Even with our very minimal budget that we had, we were drawing inspiration from that stuff.
I remember a scene when a casket go to the space, and directly I thought about the scene. Yeah, absolutely.
That was like the Starship Trooper scene, and also like the Spock, the search for Spock.
Yeah, you're right.
And then we had the cryo tanks, which were not full water like Starship Troopers or Star Wars, but they were still, like the ice. So the thing, and then we had the shower scene, which was
the shower scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's even better because it was with your wife, so it's even better.
Oh yeah, that was the cryo thing with my wife. Yeah.
With the cryo. Can we expect you both guys work together again on something, badass?
Hopefully.
I don't want to hear anything else. I want to say badass. And among badass, you can put everything you want. You can put Christmas movies, you can put romance. Shaun, you have the ingredients. But I want to say the badass thing, badass woman and badass, actors like you. Do you have something, you're cooking right now, guys?
Oh, I would love
we're always cooking up something. So yeah, we've already been talking that it's been too long since the last time we worked together. So yeah, we are trying to get something going here soon. And yes, I think
every time he casts somebody else and not me, I get really angry at him and don't talk to him for a few minutes.
But Shaun, I would love to do the Johnny Rico younger version from South Asia, or I don't know. Put me in the camera, I would be like this.
If you read the book Starship Troopers, Juanito Rico is Filipino, Buenos Aires. He's Filipino in Buenos Aires. So that's what he is in the book. But also, I think what Verhoeven was trying to do was pointing at how many Nazi Germany guys went down to South America. And I think that was his reason for casting me, because I think I look like what they would want, even though I'm Dutch American, not German American.
European, of course.
Yeah, I bet I think I have the aesthetic look of what somebody from what Hitler would have wanted. I guess is what somebody told me once, which is terrible. But I think he wanted to play off of that aspect. I went to military school here in Florida, in St. Pete, Florida, an all-guy military school, and a lot of the guys I went to were from South America. And they were blonde hair, blue eyed, looked like German guys.
Yeah. There was a lot that they did. A lot of them fled down to that area. Like I know, like Argentina and all those areas. There was a lot, and also Italian. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
I'm sure you already know that. A lot of Italians.
Piccininos.
I don't know if any Piccininos went down there, but maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
That's fun because earlier, Casper, you told me that there's French everywhere in the world, and you're right, because actually my mom she's a French Caucasian, she's blonde with blue eyes, but my father is a half Vietnamese and half Egyptian, and that's why my name is Jonathan Ali, so I'm a mix like of the every French.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I like that. That's a good mix to have. I I went and did my DNA, and I was hoping I was going to have something interesting, and all it came back was you're just a whitey. But I don't have any, I don't get anything cool. I don't get any of the cool. Like,
you're cool, man. You're the coolest, man.
But not as cool as, you know, I don't get to have any of the like I didn't have any African in me. I didn't have any Asian in me. I didn't have any Native American Indian in me. I didn't have any Indian in me. I didn't have anything cool, like any of the cool Latin things. I had all like, I had a little French. That's kind of Latinist.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, you got some French in there.
Yeah, there you go. I got a little French, Dutch, a little German, Scottish, and English.
Oh,
that's great.
Swedish and Swiss and French.
And Swiss, yeah. I live like Geneva. It's 2 hours from where I live. You know.
Oh, very cool.
Geneva.
Yeah. Casper, I have a question from, you know, I have a lot of subscribers on the channel, and a lot of them ask this question, like, can we expect a Starship Troopers 4? Because, you know, this franchise, you know, you told earlier about, you know, the Holdman, Rico.
So, yeah, there was a Starship Troopers 1, and then there was a 2 that I was not in. Then I did 3 because Ed Neumeyer directed that, and he also wrote RoboCop and Starship Troopers. Then I did the 4th one as a producer, sort of, which was an animated one. And then I did the 5th one where I did the voiceover and was a producer on it. But those were the small ones. And then Sony talked to me for a little bit, and we talked to Robert Rodriguez. We were talking to Robert Rodriguez about doing Old Man Rico and doing that. He was still in, but then he got, then Sony pulled the plug for a little bit. They were like, we just got to put it on hold. And he got Book of Boba Fett, and I think he's all set now.
Yeah, Boba Fett, yeah.
I went and talked to him, and I go, hey, they're back. Sony's back talking to me. They want to know if you're interested again. He goes, I am locked. I can't. I would have. And he did. We did talk. So I would love to do a series. It would have to be, you know, some young guy like Shaun, if he wanted to, and they wanted to get it going.
Yeah, I would do it in a millisecond.
I would love it. You know, I would love it. You know, well, Shaun and I had fun doing this Old Man Rico here and Salvage Marines, you know, as Samuel Heist. But it would have been nicer if we had a little bit more control. Just a little bit, in my opinion.
Let's go
Shaun,
talk to Sony. Let's get this.
Yeah,
talk
to Sony. Yeah, guys, you have to. You know, there's a lot of fan out there waiting for it. Yeah,
gotta get those French. Gotta get them French involved. And,
yeah,
while we're at it, the Vietnamese and the Egyptian too.
I will be behind the camera, you know, in the back, you know, in the background, you know, just with a, you know,
yeah, we need you
like running away, just this.
Kill you brutally with bugs. Bugs come in and just rip you to shreds and suck your brains out all at once. You're mutilated and your brain sucked. It's like, what?
Yeah. I mean,
and you get goo. You get the green goo and the orange goo. So it's got to be a tanker bug. And then let's throw some plasma at you too. Let's just get started with green juice, orange juice, and blue juice.
That'd be kind of funny though. You see the same guy like just keep getting killed further. Like,
boom! Tanker bug explodes on him. Yeah. Little warrior bug does this. All of them have different blood.
I would be proud to be, you know, slayed by bugs. Shaun, you have also a movie coming up, The Island, right, with Michael J. White?
Yeah, I just finished filming that one.
Didn't cast me in it.
I tried.
Man.
I always try to get him in every movie I do. But that one, I don't know when it's going to come out. But that one's it's not a holiday Christmas rom-com. This one is not.
This one, yeah.
But I do have a holiday rom-com
of course
on the 24th of November.
Holiday's coming, man.
That one's on HBO. It's called Holiday Harmony. There you go. There's your holiday right
I got
there.
a couple not romantic comedies coming out too.
Oh my gosh. He just when does is it Bad Heidi? No, what's it called?
Oh yeah. Mad Heidi.
Mad Heidi. Mad Heidi looks so bonkers amazing. I can't wait to see that one.
You were invited to the screening, Shaun.
I know. Kids, I had to go to
do kid things. Oh, being a dad. So yeah, I have Mad Heidi coming out, and then I also have one called Daughter. I'm going to the premiere on Saturday in Orlando for that. It's already premiered, but the Florida premiere, and that's coming out in November. And then I have another one called Battle of Saipan, which is a war movie with Jeff Fahey and
Love Jeff.
Mandalore, Louis Mandalore. They're in it, and that one's a really good movie. And then I also have A Counting Line with Tom Wampat. A Counting Line, No Fear. I think that's what
you got 4 movies coming out. Like when? 5 movies coming out in like the next couple months.
In November.
All in November. Wow.
Why are you complaining Shaun didn't cast you in his movie? He has one coming.
I have 5 coming out in November, and then I have because I also have Hunt Club coming out with Mickey Rourke and Mina Savari, and then I have, and I just had that premiere up at TIFF where my daughter had her premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival. They speak French in Toronto too for some reason. I guess your friends.
Hey, now I'm going to start complaining that you don't cast me as the director in all your movies.
Oh, I tried.
5 movies.
That's amazing. That's got to be a record. That's got to be a record. Has anybody had 5 movies in the same month come out? We should contact Guinness. I
think they're trying to do theatrical for. There's a small theatrical for 4 of them.
We should honestly contact like Guinness and see if there's an actor who's had more than 5 movies in 1 month.
I'm sure. I know there's those character actors that do 50 movies a year. There's those that do like 3 days.
Yeah, but they got to be top billed, I think.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm top billed in all of these. So that was good.
That's amazing.
Shaun, so should I expect, every Christmas holidays, there's a movie to go? Because, on Christmas Day is my birthday, man.
Oh,
really? 25th, yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
I would turn 40.
Oh, congrats.
I was due on Christmas, but my mom induced a week early. She didn't want to be in the hospital. Yeah, she didn't want to be in the hospital. She's like, get him out.
So guys, it was so much fun to have you both. Thank you for your time, man. Like 15 minutes. It's awesome. What can I say? I'm so, grateful for your time. It is awesome to just texting you, on Instagram, and then we'll be able to talk like this, just like I'm in France, you are in America, and I just love that, man. You guys are awesome, and we can feel the passion, we can feel the friendship. I just love that, man. I'm just like you guys.
I love it. I love how connected we can be in the world nowadays. It is, awesome. There's a lot of things, technology and social media can be maybe damaging, but there are these reasons why.
Good side, yeah. Yesterday I was talking to Michael Myers, The Shape, from the Halloween trilogy, James Judd Courtney, and we had a chat together. He's awesome, a guy just like us. Yeah, I just love the guys. I just love that guy, and today I'm just with you, and I just love it, man. I love it.
It's a good life. It's a good life.
Thank you, Shaun. Thank you. We stay in touch. Casper, you have a lot of fun here.
Yeah, I would love to. I love France. There's a lot of French people.
I'm gonna tell them you're French also. So
oui, c'est fan, le petit amène, c'est fan, le petit tutoran, sur la pont d'avion, on a dansé, sur la pont d'avion, on a dansé.
Okay, you got me, man.
My grandmother used to sing that to me when I was little.
Oh,
Passed when I was 12, but I remember her teaching me the French when I was.
Yeah, that's our song kids when we were in school. Yeah, ainsi font. Yeah, I love that song. Thank you again, guys. We stay in touch and be safe and keep doing what you do the best you can. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you
so much for
a great soul, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.